The fact I'm a football coach. It's a competitive thing. I despise for people to beat us.
To Elliott, who goes sweeping to the left side. Gets to the 20, loose to the 30, to the 40, down the left side to the 50 goes Elliott. He's going to take it to the house. 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott. 85 yards. Back is Dorsey to throw. And he throws it in the end zone. It's incomplete. The Buckeyes win the national championship.
It's Everything Buckeye Nation, the voice of the fan, with your hosts, Jake Smith and Corey Boyd.
Man, that intro gets me pumped up every time. Every time.
Yeah!
Welcome in, everybody, to the Everything Buckeye Nation show, a Producer G production on Fan Chat Nation. We appreciate you being with us tonight. I'm your host, Jake Smith. Next to me, as always, Corey W. Boyd.
Woo!
The
Fan
first.
Chat Nation is alive and kicking. The new era has begun. As you can see, I'm pumped because we are all fans, we all chat, and we are all a nation.
Who is this guy?
Woo! Let's go.
Producer G running the ship, and our guy Steve filling in tonight as well. Appreciate you tuning in on this fine Tuesday evening in the capital city. Lot to get to tonight. We will have our good buddy Doug Worthington, former Buckeye and NFL defensive lineman, will join the program later on in the show. And we've got a lot to talk about. Normally, the college football playoff rankings will come out about 7 or 7:15 or so. That is not the case tonight. We've got some college basketball on ESPN, so they will be released at 9, right about the time we sign off, because we just plan this so well, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Next week, they'll be released at 7. We'll be good to go. We'll bring them live to you, of course, as well. Tons of comments rolling in. Appreciate everybody tuning in already. A few shout-outs. As always, Laura BP, our gal, Julie, and David, and Lee Travis, Robert Collins, JP Pooley. Man, the nation is alive.
You got to
and
love
well.
the nation. Buckeye Nation is in the comment section. They're ready to roll. I seen one comment said they love our intro. They love it.
I tell you, man, it's the best in the business. I got to say. Gets me hyped every time. And I get to do my Paul Keels impression, which is not very good. It's fun to do. So that's enjoyable. Nobody can hear that because we got the mics muted because Producer G is a professional.
Professional G. President G.
Producer G.
Fan Chat Nation. We are just ready to go.
They're laughing over there.
Doing big things.
JP Pooley, what's up, fellas? How you doing? Tisha's in here. Let's plan on improving each week by an obscene amount. I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
Obscene, please.
All right, folks. Well, let's get to some action here. Normally, we'd start with the rankings as they are not updated yet.
No, they are not.
We shall steamroll ahead. The Ohio State Buckeyes defeated the Nebraska Cornhuskers 36-31 on Saturday. Interesting game. Let us know what you think. And please, when you comment, give us a like and a share. Let us know where you were watching from. This is the Everything Buckeye Nation show, after all. So let us know where you're watching from. 36-31, kind of an ugly game. So we'll see. We'll see what you have to say. We'll shout you out. Natasha says, "Hey fellas, thanks for tuning in." Julie says she is commenting from Savannah, Georgia. Tough living down there in the SEC land.
It has to be tough.
You like that little half accent I got there?
I like it. Just for Georgia.
Just for a second. Just to see how it feels. We appreciate you down there fighting the good fight. David Campbell watching from Nashville. That's probably a better country accent place. You ever been to Nashville?
Never been to Nashville. No, I haven't.
Never have I. I got to get down there.
Doug Worthington, yes, we did.
Thank you.
Yes, we did. He will be here.
Towering
over all of us.
Towering over all of us. 6'6", 6'7", Doug Worthington will be in here saying, "Hey, Doug." Producer G is going to have to move the camera back a little bit to fit Doug in. Right now, you'd see about his neck.
Right.
He'll be here about 8:30 or so. Ashley, Racine, Ohio. I think that's how you pronounce that. Carrie Lynn, hello, one of our favorites. Laura BP, some improvement. The defense worries me. Well, let's get to the game then, all right? Because 36-31, the Buckeyes win. And I tried to keep a very positive approach about this game and about what perspired, if that's the term. Sweated? What?
Yeah. You sweating?
I am sweating. Yeah. I'm always sweating, man. I don't know if it's these lights. G said the temperature is turned up to 73 in here. Come on, man. Too much. I don't know. A lot of things to react to regarding the game. I'll get to my positives in a minute, but I think initial reactions we'll start with kind of surprised with the outcome coming after a bye week. Normally, Urban Meyer and his teams are absolutely rolling after a bye week.
Dialed in,
dominating teams, and not only after a bye week, but after a loss.
Ready to plummet the team.
Yeah.
Pound on them. You're in the horseshoe.
That's what we talked about.
And we lost. It's over for you.
Right? Should be.
In all black unit. Don't get me started. Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
All right. There were some positives. 36-31. They're, so much for a beatdown after the bye week. I'm looking on the bright side, personally. My guy, J.K. Dobbins here, number 2. You can't see, but I'm rocking it. Mm-hmm. J.K.
I see it. Dobbins.
That's what I'm talking about.
I like it.
Dobbins, let me see here. 23 carries, 163 yards, and 3 scores on the day. Big time from J.K. Dobbins. Great to see the run game going.
It was very nice. The run game finally got going. J.K. stepped up, and I think you said J.K. was going to do that.
I did, and Mike Weber did too. Now, while he only had 9 carries, he had 91 yards.
Yeah. And I think a couple fumbles is why he only had 9 carries.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, he would have had more than that.
Twice. Not exactly what you want to see
right
from your senior tailback. 9 carries, 91 yards was good. He did have a catch. Mike Weber did for another 9 yards. So 10 touches, 100 yards. Good day minus the fumbles for Mike Weber. But J.K. was the story. 23 carries, 163, and 3 scores. That is definitely a positive. Haskins looked okay. It was kind of strange. He almost looked like he was off half a step or something. He didn't seem to be his normal locked in, on the money. I don't know. And I don't know if it's a lack of I don't think it's effort. Almost a lack of intensity. I don't know. I feel like I don't see Haskins like fired up ever. You think that?
I think he has like the just a that calm demeanor.
Joe Cool demeanor.
You know, Just some cool.
Learn from JT.
I got this. Yeah, JT wasn't a fiery guy either.
No, not really. He would deliver a hell of a speech in the locker room. We haven't really seen any of that. Got a few comments here. David says, no excuses after a loss to Purdue and a bye week to come out like that. Sean Eagleson, what's up, fellas? What's up, Sean? Thanks for tuning in. A lot of talk about Brendan White. We'll talk about him here in a moment. And all kinds of folks in here. Ryan Bowles, Dale Taylor, David Campbell, and Chase Eisenhower. He said Haskins did get tackled and hurt his throwing arm. We were talking about that a little bit before the show.
I think he was hiding it, to be honest with you. I mentioned this when I was watching the game. Listen, in Ohio State, there's one thing with fans. The backup quarterback is the most popular person on the team.
Yep.
Okay? And there's already a lot of people that love Tate Martell. He can run. He's spunky. We all know Urban loves a running quarterback.
Spunky.
Do you think that he wanted to show he was injured? No. Do you think he wanted to get taken out of that game? No. Why? Because you got a backup quarterback behind you that is itching to play. And that's all you need to do is lose some snaps. So I think he did hurt his arm. I'm not making an excuse for him because if you're out there, you're going to play and you need to play.
Yep.
But I don't think he was going to tell them if he was hurt, if it's something you can hide. But I think his arm was hurting him after he got hit.
Yeah, I mean, he took a couple big hits in the game. Certainly you don't want to see that with your starting quarterback. And he just wasn't all the way there on Saturday. 18 for 32, 252, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Had a couple poor decisions on one play in the red zone. I think he got picked off.
That pick was a terrible decision.
And might have been
Haskins guy. That pick was absolutely
wide open underneath.
Terrible. And I'm a Haskins. I said, what was that? I seen it when he threw it. I said, that's a pick.
Yeah.
I seen the dude. What are you doing?
Didn't look good. But some guys did have some good games. Johnny Dixon, 5 grabs, 92 yards, and a score. And how about Brendan White at safety? A lot of folks in the comments are talking about him. 13 tackles, 8 of them solo, 2 tackles for loss off the bench. Came in for Jordan Fuller, who got ejected for that whack targeting call. Oh, my goodness, man. What'd you guys think of that?
Terrible.
Terrible. Think of that targeting call, man.
That was terrible. And then ours, he wasn't defenseless. So,
about, 15 minutes later?
Right. He wasn't defenseless.
The exact same play.
So
Give me a break.
He can get hit in the head. It's okay. Stop it.
Are these the Browns referees?
Stop it.
He was a runner, so he can be hit in the head legally. Ed Hockley's kid. Come on. Ricky and Dana Moen. I now live in Alabama. I've been a diehard Buckeye fan for many years. We have a team and coaching staff that look drained or don't care. And Kyle Barr says, is it time to get rid of Urban's buddy Bill Davis? He's been a failure his entire career. A lot of weird stuff with the coaching staff.
That cuts deep.
It does, because it seems very strange. I mean, we obviously have the talent. So is it just the scheme? Is it the coaching itself? What is going on? Bill Davis has been absolutely garbage since he came in and took over for Luke Fickell, which are huge shoes to fill. I understand that. But Bill Davis, who trots out this, I coached in the NFL for 25 years. Well, let's see it, because our linebackers are not looking sharp.
We don't have athletic linebackers. Let's just call it how it is. Now, listen, we're going to have our guest, Doug Worthington, who knows more football than me and you combined. Fact. But what I see is our linebackers have no athleticism at all. You can put a QB spy on the quarterback. If you're not an athlete, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Martinez was just running all over the place.
That kid's going to be good.
And there was nothing we could do about it. Why? Because we don't have linebackers who are athletic. They are slow.
They're out of position.
Slow. I'm like, it doesn't matter. You can put the perfect scheme together. If you're not fast enough to catch the quarterback, it doesn't matter.
It's certainly a problem. Something hopefully that we will sort of fix or at least improve. All right, we need to at least improve. I want to get back to Brendan White because this kid, what a great story this is. Really his first real action in a ball game, and it happens to be on the day they're honoring his father. William White was an outstanding DB for the Buckeyes. Had a very long, successful pro career too, mostly with the Falcons, I want to say. But the whole stadium was honoring William White and his battle against ALS. If you're not familiar with it, William White, former Buckeye, has been diagnosed with ALS, and the whole premise, the whole honoring ceremony, I suppose, at Ohio Stadium on Saturday was to get people to donate to that cause. And then Jordan Fuller gets ejected. We've already got 2 guys out. Jeffrey Okuda didn't play. Isaiah Pryor didn't play. They were dinged up. And then Fuller goes out. Now a kind of weak secondary is really weak. Without Fuller,
yeah, we can't afford nobody else being out.
No. And then Brendan White comes in on his dad's day. 13 tackles, man. 8 solo, 2 for loss. Brendan White. Man, that was exciting. I mean, he was the lone bright spot, I think, on that defense. Because every time he turned around, it was like, there's Brendan White again, man. And it causes the question, do we play him?
It's called getting an opportunity.
There you go.
He got his opportunity, and he seized it. He seized the moment. He ain't taking it for granted. Not at all. That's the positive part. Those are all positives. And that's good. It's beautiful.
Well, and I want to bring this up, too. Last week, I said that as long as we got the win, I wasn't going to be upset as long as we fixed the 3 things, our 3 main issues. And last week, I said our 3 main issues are red zone efficiency, defensive big plays, and penalties. I thought the run game would kind of go hand in hand with the red zone. So red zone, the last 2 games, we had 8 opportunities in the red zone, came away with 4 field goals, no touchdowns. That's not good. That's not going to get it done. Saturday, 3 touchdowns and 4 opportunities. That's how it should be. That's good. That's a major improvement. Defense-wise, we gave up just 2 plays over 30 yards. It's not good, but it's an improvement. I'm not asking us to be elite right this second because we're not, and that's okay. But that's an improvement. And then penalties, we only had 6 penalties, 45 yards or so, and the run game was great. Dobbins had 163 yards. Weber had 91. It's an improvement. It was an ugly win, but a win nonetheless. We're 8-1, getting better each week. I'm staying positive.
Let me be the bad guy.
Oh, no. Here we go.
And they can yell at me in the comment section.
All right, everybody, yell at Corey in the comments.
They can yell at me, and that's fine. I can take it. I have thick skin. And Doug Worthington's going to come here and yell at me, too.
Well,
I don't know if I can take that one. But anyways, here nor there.
I'll back you up.
Okay. Here's my problem with the victory that we had. Okay? We had time to prepare. Okay? We had a bye week. We had time to prepare. That's my problem with the win that we had. Now, I know some people, I've read all over Facebook all week, you're not a fan. Why are you being so angry? Why are you yelling? We won. What have I said from day one when I'm here? I'm thinking about the big picture. The team up north, Michigan State, and possibly the playoffs. If I look like a spoiled, soured grape little kid, I don't care at this point. I don't care. You got the door blown off you against Purdue. You had a bye week. Nebraska comes to town in all black uniforms, and you know how I feel about that. And that's what you give me? That's what you're up 16-7. You have a chance to show the world, listen, we're here. It's the horseshoe. We came to make a statement, and you don't make one. You don't make a statement. You squeak out. Now, I know everybody says a win's a win, and I probably look like I'm crying like a spoiled baby, but I don't care at all. That's a bye week after getting the blowers blown off. The playoff committees. The doors blown off.
Count it.
The playoff committee watches these games.
Oh, yeah.
Nebraska. 2-win Nebraska. Now, I know they're getting better. They're coming under unity, under Scott Frost. I don't care. It's Nebraska, people, at home after getting beat down by Purdue. And now we go to Michigan State. Now, maybe they'll get it together. I don't know. I will come in here and eat crow. I'm good at it. I don't care. I can admit when I'm wrong. It doesn't matter to me at all. But we have got to pick up the pace all over. This offense, at least I expected this offense. I don't expect this defense to be shut down defense.
No.
I don't at all. We lost our best player. Look at Khalil Mack and the Chicago Bears. Look what he's done for them. Take Nick Bosa off. That's a big deal.
Yep.
But I expected this offense to put points up on the board consistently, not go 3-and-out against Nebraska. It's Nebraska. And like you said last week, Nebraska is not very good on defense. That's my issue. A bye week, and we struggled against Nebraska at home. Where's the consistency? Where is the fight? Where is the urge? Like I said, I can come off spoiled. And I went through the years when we were terrible. So I'm not one of those guys that just no. I was there when we were terrible. I had the Steve Bellisari years. I had the Joe Bowserman years. So I lived through all that. Okay? I was there when Joe Bowserman was throwing it in the stands. I was there when it was Braxton left, right, pray, score. Through all that. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
now go ahead and get on me.
All right. I'm not going to jump on you really too much because you made great points. I mean, like you see on the screen, we expect better. Coming off a bye week, coming off a loss, a lot of the comments here are like, what's going on? There doesn't seem to be. There's no urgency. There's no fight. There's no passion. What do these guys need? They got their ass beat by Purdue. Wouldn't you think that would fire you up? And for 2 weeks, all you're hearing is, wow, this team, they got something, they're something's going on over there. Wouldn't you want to come out and shut them up against a 2-6 team and put up 65 points? Apparently not. I guess not. A lot of comments in here. Eddie Stats, what's up, man? Smell something this Saturday. Yeah, we'll get to the Michigan State talk here in a little bit. We will see. We'll talk all about that. Ashley says something interesting. I was listening to Mark Packer on my way home. Eddie George called into the show. He even said there is something going on inside of those walls and none of us know about. Something's going on, man. I don't know if it's Urban's health. I don't know what's going on. Somebody on the broadcast on Saturday said this feels a lot like Urban's last year at Florida. There's no fight. There's no energy. It's just very strange. Something's going on. Something's not right. And a lot of people in the comments are agreeing. I don't know. It's tough. David Campbell says, move Chase around to Chase Young. Show some different looks. I like that. Brandy says, it seems like the passion is gone. It was a rough start to the season, but now it's time to shut up the haters and show them who we are. Bingo. But why don't they want to do it? I'm sure they want to do it, but gosh, it is it's frustrating, man. It really is frustrating. A team with all this talent. Before the season, everything, all you heard was, this might be the most talented team Urban Meyer's ever had. Well, what the hell's going on there?
And I tell you this. When I watched that Alabama game against LSU,
yep.
And I know this may be sacrilegious, but my goodness. That's all I had to say. Listen, I know they play nobody. Listen, I am number one that says they play toilet paper schedule. But they went into LSU and beat the brakes off them.
Yeah.
They made them look like Nebraska.
I was like, wow, LSU sucks.
Didn't see that coming.
Nope.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I expected us to do to Nebraska. Maybe not shut them out, but you get my point.
Sure.
To come on offense, look dominant, come out, handle business. I didn't see that coming with Alabama and LSU. I thought that was going to be a barn burner, 7-point game. 29-0.
I thought that would be a good game, too. I was pretty disappointed. I had to give up on that one. A lot of comments in here. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Of course, this is the Everything Buckeye Nation show here, Producer G Production, Fan Chat Nation. We appreciate you tuning in. Give us a like and a share, and let us know where you were watching from. Robert Collins says, Urban's 18-1 in November. I said, well, we'll see. After the next 3 weeks, we'll see if he's 21-1 or if we're 19-3. Because it is.
So if he had one loss, which loss could you stomach the most? Maryland?
State.
Stomach State the most?
Yep. Because for whatever reason, Mark D'Antonio just has something on us. He's got something on Urban Meyer. I don't know what it is, but it is ugly. Eddie Woodcock says, I'm sorry, Michigan State, 24-14 over Ohio State.
Eddie, listen. Don't you start. Don't you start, Eddie. Until Des Bryant gets signed, don't you start with me.
He said, I'm sorry. It's just the last 2 games. I had them losing before the season started. Well.
Didn't he say they were going to lose to Purdue?
Yeah. Dang it. I know. And he's right. He's right. It's going to be ugly this weekend. It is going to be cold, too. It's supposed to be like a high of 35. Windy. Good thing about windy, cold days is as long as you got a good defense and a good run game, you'll be okay.
Wow.
Oh, wait. That's Michigan State that has the good defense and the good run game. We got to figure some things out.
Quick passes, man. Quick passes could be the extension of the run game. I don't understand.
Well, that's what they like to do, on those screens to Campbell and Hill and get these guys moving out.
Yeah, but
quickly.
That's predictable. When you see Campbell, you know it's coming. You just know it.
Sure. He's our jailbreak guy. He's that guy. That's what he does for us. He's the screen guy. I don't know. We got a lot of things to worry about, but I think we'll figure them out this weekend. We will know after Saturday what this team's going to do.
My mood come next week is going to be one way or the other. Because my confidence gets the team up north. Mm-hmm. One way or the other. Because D'Antoni's gave us more problems than Harbaugh.
Oh, yeah.
Even though Harbaugh's team is so much better this year than he's ever had, D'Antoni has just gave us problems whether they're great or they're terrible. They still have gave us problems. So after this weekend, we will see.
We'll see. I mean, it's a huge game at Michigan State. 12 noon. I don't like that it's a nooner either, man. Yeah. It's like if we can't get these guys fired up for a home game in these black uniforms, the shoe was quiet. We're going into a hostile environment. It's tough to play up there, man. In East Lansing, it is ugly. And it's going to be cold, and it's going to be windy. We're not going to be able to throw the ball around like crazy. So hopefully we'll be able to run the ball. We made good improvement this week running the ball, but it was against Nebraska. Mm-hmm. So it comes into play, well, are they actually good? Are they actually improving? Or is it just
what I did like is Dobbins was patient. He was more patient running this week. He was more patient. He said it was against Nebraska.
Yeah.
We just have to take that and keep going. We have to keep running the ball. But it doesn't have to be on first down every time. And that's where we mess up. 1st and 10, let's run.
Why?
Then the whole world's going to know it, and then you're stuck at 2nd and long if you get 1 yard.
Did you see what Carrie said in here?
I probably was going on my tangent. I probably missed it, Carrie. I'm sorry.
She said they need to make the adjustments. They need to, during the game, stop being so predictable.
Thank you, Carrie. I missed it. I wasn't trying to steal your glory. What Carrie said.
There you go. Onesto, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Ohio State ready to demolish Michigan State and that team up north in that order. I see it. I like this guy.
I like Ernesto.
That's what I'm like. That's what I'm talking about.
I like Ernesto.
Because all I'm worried about really at this point is beating that team up north. And if we look like crap this Saturday,
listen,
I'm not going to be feeling
I'm
too
not going to
hot.
lie. I'm an honest person to a fault. To a fault. I am not going to sugarcoat. Like, listen, y'all watching this show, I'm not going to sugarcoat y'all. I'm going to keep it real. Whether y'all like it or not, I'm sorry. Don't hate me. Don't throw, stones at me. This is the scaredest I've been in a while playing Michigan. In a while. I usually go, whatever. It's the team up north. Please. Now I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That defense is nasty. Quarterback can run. We just can't stop a running quarterback for some reason.
Well,
nervous.
see, that's something interesting that Nebraska's scheme-wise hurt us offensively. What Michigan State does is completely different and actually plays to our strengths. So maybe we'll have that going for us. But against the Wolverines, I don't know. They've been putting in some of that read option stuff, some of that Colin Kaepernick stuff when Harbaugh was in San Fran. I don't know, man. We've got 3 weeks to get a whole hell of a lot better. Actually, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. But it starts with this Saturday. So that's what I'm most...
Where's the flea flicker? Like, where? I don't know.
There's no creativity.
Stop.
Like you said, I don't know
let it go,
if Urban's getting too involved in the plays, calling the plays, if Ryan Day's...
I don't even care if it gets completed. First player of the game, flea flicker, throw it as far as you can to Paris Campbell.
As far as you can.
Because he's fast and he'll get it. That will take the safeties and go, oh, okay, you will go deep. So on first downs, we can't just stack the box. We're just gonna run it. 1st and 10, let's run.
No threat of the quarterback running.
Yeah, the quarterback's not running, so you have to do something different.
Unless it's a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, a 2-point conversion run that's not going to get anywhere with Haskins, and that's my guy.
What is going on?
If you're going to do that, just throw Tate in there. Like, come on.
Shout out to Ron Ferris coming in and Dave Newbold. They will play to the level of the competition.
Well, I don't want that.
We've seen that for years,
We need to play
man.
to our level every game.
See, but we don't.
And that's the problem.
That is a problem. Man.
Steven says, creativity is coming, guys. Believe that.
Believe that. Well,
Roman
Steven,
Reigns.
I am believing. Come on now.
Ron, thank you. McCall, he got 1 touch.
We saw some DeMario McCall.
You know what happened? They put it in the back pocket. Save it.
Maybe they thought we didn't need to show. I don't know, man. Oh, Eddie. Is that what you're laughing at? Eddie Stat says Hugh Jackson's available.
Eddie, you know what?
Come on, Eddie, man.
Come on, Eddie.
Come on. Damn. Denise says
Eddie, Hugh Jackson can go to the Colts. How about that?
Ooh.
I know he's the Colts fan.
Oh.
Yeah, he can go to the Colts.
Yeah, go ahead, Eddie. You guys will take him, right? Denise says, where's another play? It's always the same plays. That's right.
Yeah.
There's no creativity. I don't know what's going on. Zach Kaiser says read options are never creative, which is true.
Especially when your quarterback can't run. But it's okay.
And you know what we didn't say? What we didn't touch on? Ron, I did not. Let me know, specify, Ron, for me about Spielman's comments, if you would. But what we didn't talk about is when we got into the red zone, that weird-ass power formation, it was almost like a wing T type power O. And you know what? I liked it.
You know what I was waiting on when we got in the red zone? I was like, come on, do it.
So
I'm right. And he didn't throttle, and I said I'm wrong. But we scored, so I can't.
We did score in the red zone, 3 for 4. That's good.
And we should have been 4 for 4 if we didn't throw that stupid interception. See,
Yep.
I get on players I like too.
Yeah.
Listen. I am equal to all criticism. I will criticize myself. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me.
Not a great show from you tonight, Corey.
I don't care.
That's okay. Robert Collins said Wyatt Davis was in as the third tight end on the run there. He was wearing number 86. You see that? I was like, is that Draymond Jones out there? What is going on? Are they going to throw this man the ball?
Now that's creativity.
Yeah. That was a very strange formation, but it worked. I liked it. And it was power football, shove it down your throat. We're running the ball. We're going to score. And I was like, what team am I watching? Is this the Ohio State Buckeyes? Because, man, was that good to see. But, it's just something we've got to work on a little bit more, and we shall see. We shall see. Well, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about college football? You want to talk about this game Saturday before Doug Worthington comes in? We can talk about some Buckeyes in the NFL.
Let's talk about some Buckeyes in the NFL.
All right.
Let's give them a little love.
It was some
positivity.
A banner weekend in the NFL for these Buckeyes, man. They were all over the place. I'm going to update this just a touch, man. So let us know in the comments, who was your favorite performance of the Buckeyes in the NFL this week? A lot of them are going to be our guy, Michael Thomas. Can't guard Mike.
Man.
You know what, man?
Flip phone Mike.
I had an outstanding idea. Sunday, after I was watching this Sunday, I was like, bro, I'm going to bring a flip phone in to the show. And we talk about Michael Thomas. I'm going to flip it out. I'm like, oh, hold on. Yeah. And then I forgot about it till just now.
You got your flip phone, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't bring it. Michael Thomas, 12 grabs, 211 yards, and 1 touchdown, and 1 phone call celebration. Shout out Joe Horn. That was something special. Michael Thomas, probably my favorite guy in the NFL. I met him a couple times when he was at Ohio State. Great dude. Love his work ethic. And, man, I mean, what a performance. His team and he helps his team knock off the undefeated Rams. 12 catches, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, and pulls out the cell phone. Did you hear Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were like, oh, that's just sad. That's just hurting your team and this and that. And Mike Golick's on ESPN saying, oh, here he's on Twitter saying, that's just selfish. I can't believe you do that. Like, are you kidding me?
Listen, man.
Give me a break.
Listen, man.
Give that guy
a part of the No Fun League.
Cocktail.
No Fun League.
Oh, guess not.
Michael Thomas, man, listen. Me and my cousin have this. We had this actually when I was producing the show about, top 5 receivers, and we was naming Michael Thomas in there. Remember that? Top 5. We was naming receivers, Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham. Me and my cousins having this conversation about Michael Thomas being best receiver. Listen, long as he got Drew Brees, it's a wrap for people.
Yeah.
Because this dude is a stud. I mean, a stud. I'm like, what can you do with him? Absolutely nothing. Watch out, league. Watch out. He's only getting better. Did you see Keyshawn Johnson on Twitter?
Yeah.
He had the cell phone.
He had the Mike Thomas jersey on. Well, that is his nephew.
Yes.
So that is wonderful to see.
I felt bad
there.
for Peters from the Rams because he was just.
Why, man?
He after a while, when you just get abused and abused and abused, I'm like.
Some burnt toast, man.
I'm like, this poor guy. Can y'all switch somebody else on him? Can you divvy out the abuse?
You see him in the post game interview in the locker room. He was like, "You get that microphone out of my face, please. Thank you." And then he answered the question. He was nice. He was like, "Yo, I had a bad game. All right."
They could have divvied it out, All right, we're gonna switch up.
I guess not. He wanted, the elite corners want the best guys. Big game for Mike Thomas. Seen a couple comments. Jerome Baker had a pick 6. That was pretty sweet. Sealed the deal for the Dolphins. Curtis Samuel had 2 touchdowns on 3 touches.
Yeah.
Ran 100 yards, as Luis Rivera says here. 100 yards on 1 play. It was a 33-yard touchdown, I think it was. But it was a double reverse. He ended up reversing fields again. Man, I love Curtis Samuel. This year he's got 4 touchdowns on 10 touches. He touched the ball 10 times this year, and he has 4 touchdowns. Is that good?
That means get that man the ball. That's what that means. Come on, Carolina.
They drafted McCaffrey and Samuel in the same draft. I was like, what are you doing?
They knew
Those are the same guys, man.
Yes, sir.
And I do want to give a shout-out to my guy, Jeff Hireman. Tight end has been working on – he's been just balling out. And he finally had a breakout game. 10 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown for Jeff Hireman. That's big time, man.
Yeah, man, we're balling.
That's what I'm talking about.
New Orleans Buckeyes, we just doing things.
The New Orleans Buckeyes. That is right. There's some good comments in here. Ron Ferris said, Spielman said Brendan White should be starting going forward. Hard to argue with it, right?
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Not right now, at least.
No, I mean.
Can't argue with that.
Like you said, he got a shot.
He was balling.
He was balling. Want to shout out my guy Nick Vanette as well. Another tight end making plays in the league. 6 catches, 52 yards, and a touchdown. Nick Vanette, a guy I worked with probably every day when I was an intern at Ohio State.
Okay.
Nicest guy in the world. Really love that kid. So very happy for him out in Seattle making plays. And they're not too bad. They're
all right.
Flying under the radar.
Yeah.
Nick Vanette getting a shot. Russell Wilson. That's what I like to see. We got some more comments in here. Dale Taylor, if we want to improve the run game, where is Jeff Myers? I believe it's Josh. Demetrius Knox is not getting it done. We got a lot of work to do, man.
Yeah, we do.
But
somebody's about to come in here who knows football.
Somebody
who knows football.
Our very own good friend Doug Worthington will be joining the program here soon. I think we're gonna get. I think we're ready. I think we're ready for the big guys. So
you heard us yelling for about an hour, and now
you get a 2-minute break. Is that right?
2-minute break, and now you get to hear someone who knows what they're talking about.
Well, it's about time they got somebody on this show who does. So we'll be right back. We'll bring the big guy on, Mr. Dr. Worthington, as he has been called in the past, and we'll be right back with Doug Worthington.
Yep.
And we are back live.
No shave November.
No shave November. Doug Worthington joins the show, making us look small.
Very
man,
tiny.
I appreciate you guys for having me. I am a D lineman, you know, at
Hey,
the Ohio State University. I'm supposed to make you guys look small. Thanks for having me, man. I love your show, man. I appreciate being on.
Hey,
we appreciate you.
It is great to have you on here. I'm sure we'll have a lot of comments coming in. If you got
Bring
a question for Doug, I will screen them.
Bring
so
them
go
on.
ahead and
Yes. Fire away.
let them know.
Fire away.
Let them
There we
know.
go.
But
So I was talking about when I was out there, I was hearing them Buckeyes. Y'all was talking about our NFL Buckeyes, man. It is awesome to see in the world of fantasy football and just seeing just how visible those guys is with social media. Those guys been eating, man. You know, the Ohio State University has been eating very, very handsomely when it comes down to the league. I'm so happy to be a part of this university, be a part of the show, and just be able to be a fan. You know, like looking on this side of the mic and being a fan is just another surreal idea for me. So, again, it is cool, and your show was cool. I'm happy to be on this puppy.
well, we are very glad to have you
Thank
here.
you.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. So, couple of guys you played with,
Yes,
still
yes.
balling in the pros. Probably Cam Hayward,
Oh, my
Malcolm
God.
Jenkins.
Little Cam.
Who am I
Yep,
missing
came
out
in.
on? I know.
I mean, we got Kirk
those guys
Coleman.
are
You said the New
studs.
Orleans
Yup.
Saints. You know,
New
I mean, the
Orleans
Buckeye
Buckeyes
Saints.
there
You
now.
know,
Kirk
Kirk's
Coleman.
down there. I played with. I think you said, you
I'm
said
trying to
Cam.
think. Any offensive linemen
yeah.
still in?
Offensive
I don't
lineman,
think.
you
I think
know,
was Boone there when you were there? I think he's out of
Alex
the league
Boone,
now.
I think he's back, in and out of the league.
All right.
But yeah, that might be it. It might be it. I mean, we played. James just got there, just got retired. He
Yup.
lost like 37 pounds.
I know he looks good.
Skinny
man.
neck. I
now
mean,
you can
know,
really
just-
see his ears. Now,
Yeah,
you
it just
know?
look like he's about to float away any second now. He's doing well. A lot of my guys is on that transition, man. You know, my
Okay.
guy Donald doing a program called Smooth Transition. So
Really?
yeah, we're all just becoming new adults again. It's like we're coming out of college
Oh,
or coming
Donald
out of high
Washington.
school. Yeah, my guy
Okay.
5. Yep. So there's a lot of Buckeyes doing some cool things outside of the sports realm, and I got a couple guys I played with that's still in there. Now, when it comes down to league, you know, I got a bunch of guys that I still talk to this day.
Really?
I mean, again, you talked about the Saints. I was with the LA Rams last. So them getting their first loss against some of my Buckeyes was kind of cool, but also bittersweet, man.
Bittersweet.
I'm a big fan of the Rams. That being my last team, me really knowing like a guy like Todd Gurley, you know, playing with him his rookie year, me actually, you know, chilling and staying with a guy like Aaron Donald, sleeping on his couch that's bigger than most people's beds, you know. So one of those things to see those guys on that atmosphere and be a fan of it, you know, be an Ohio State fan. You know, I seen what happened in Purdue, and it resonated with me because me being a senior, I realized that, hey, I lost to Purdue, right? So I remember playing in a night game over there. I remember playing in a day game at 12 noon, like we got in Michigan State.
nooner, man.
Yeah, just one of those games in the beginning is nobody there. Nobody's intoxicated. And then about halftime, you got a whole new breed of person that's breathing on your neck as far as right there in the stadium. So, I mean, just the atmosphere of just that aspect of Purdue and the fact that they playing another noon game against a pretty good opponent, man, and being a Buckeye, it's a whole bunch of good things, man, a whole bunch of good topics.
Okay.
I be rambling. I'll be rambling. Doug be rambling. I'll be excited about my team.
No, that's why we have you on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Bring
So
the
looking at these current Buckeyes, the defense specifically, what do you see that could be changed as far as the defense goes against Michigan State?
Well, you know, the Fuller going out, getting that penalty that I don't really understand how football has got to that. But again, it's just, you know, you got to pay the bills, you got to keep kids safe, and a lot of things. But concussions has been all over the news, so obviously you got to be aware of it. But when the kid White came in, you know, he had another new presence. You know, he was, you know, somebody out there making some good plays. You know, looked like he was where he needed to be. The defense has so much talent, man. You know, they have, you know, 4 stars, 5 stars across the board. So to have somebody come in there and do his job was very, very nice to see. You know, being on the Urban Meyer team, you know, being on a Silver Bullets defense, being on a perennial playoff team, it brings a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times those kids just didn't want to make a mistake. You know, so a kid right there who had nothing against him, he just went out there and played ball. So when he does get that opportunity again, because I know everybody wants him to start, I hope he still has that freeness that he can just go in there and play knowing that, hey, I'm in here just because somebody else made a mistake or somebody else got hurt or injured or, again, got a penalty. So he can just go in there and play free. I think he'll be a big piece for us this Saturday.
Yeah, don't be scared, really.
Yeah.
And he got his shot. It's so cool. You know, he's an Ohio kid.
Right.
The Buckeyes and the whole stadium were honoring his father who played for Ohio State.
There you go. That's huge.
For, his ALS treatment and everything. So he comes in, 13 tackles off the bench.
Man.
Great story.
Great story,
You
man.
love to hear it.
That's about college football. That's where we're at far as Ohio State, just being able to have a rotation, using some of those other players that we might not know about, and then them coming in and producing. I mean, they're at the creme de la creme. They're in the horseshoes. They're playing some of the biggest opponents in the Big Ten. It's time to come out and play, man. November is where you win championships and get Big Ten championships.
You got that right. We had a couple questions. I think Lee Travis asked, you got any
seen
eligibility
that one.
left there, Doug?
I got eligibility, man. I wish, man. I was a strong 5-year guy.
5 years.
I came in there with injuries.
How many gold pants you have?
I got 5.
5.
Every opportunity, we got 5 of those things.
Count 'em all.
So, again, that's another topic for later on because I hear so much noise about that game right now.
Yes.
You know, when somebody's doing, again, that's later on noise, but, you know, I don't have any eligibility. Right now, I'm going to be around some mics. I'm going to be talking about them. I'm going to be a fan. I'm going to be somewhat of critical with them when it comes down to certain things. But, again, playing, bad knees, just tore my quad. I wish. Yeah, I'm an old guy.
Now, I'm not going to lie. Before you got here, I went on a little soliloquy.
There we go.
Yeah,
I was a little angry.
Word of the day.
And I said, if Doug decides to hit me, Jake, have my back.
No, man. No fight.
But
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
But the offense.
Yeah.
What do you see? Because I came in the fact after a bye week.
Right.
Nebraska.
Right.
At home. I love black uniforms, by the way. I just wanted to get that out there.
I was one of the first ones.
I just want to get that out there. I just want to get that out there.
Man.
I thought we would come out and just put up points, bury them by halftime.
Yeah.
This is what I thought. This is just me.
For sure.
And I thought our offense hasn't lived up to me the expectations that I thought we would have as far as putting up the points, our passing game, Weber, Dobbins. What do you see that – why is our offense stumbling?
First, man, when it comes down to those black uniforms, they were beautiful.
guy.
I was one of the first guys to put those different combat jerseys on. So when we had those 54s, it was like the 1954 team.
Yeah.
The all-white ones when we beat the team up north.
That was in Ann Arbor, right? I was there, man.
So, again, shout out to the jerseys. I knew they were going to have some black ones. I put it in the new. You can Google that. That's facts. I said that years ago that was going to happen. But, again, you know, playing against a team like Nebraska with a historic program and been down and out for years, been down and out this year, you expect a little bit more from a bye week. But with that being said, coming into the shoe, seeing the teams have success against us, it gives people confidence, man. You don't want to have a team that has scholarship athletes that are still great athletes, have a coaching staff, put some real things together and we have holes. Like we all know we have holes in different areas. We got I was about to sound like Ludacris right there, but when it comes down to
holes in different areas,
you know, but when it comes down to it, we have all that talent on defense. We have a bunch of talent on offense, and we have to realize, man, these are young men with a lot of pressure on their backs. I don't know how it is to be a college athlete around this time and age. Like, I remember Facebook. I remember people saying stuff to me on Facebook, and I used to be like, you know what, I'm going to shut Facebook off. Like, these kids are literally media outlets. They're literally just marketing individuals with 20,000, 100,000 fans, and they're getting all types of messages, all types of nonsense. They're hearing what's going on. They have the access to all the sports. They look at it. They read it. So with that being said, people coming into the shoe, us having our woes, us not maybe having and living up to the things we wanted to do this season, everything is still in front of us. So if they kind of could get it together, I feel like the sky is still the limit, man. We're in a great place. We're with our backs against the wall. So the things that the Buckeyes can do is they can have some guys come in there and just play free, play fast, play like you in high school. If you make a mistake, okay, don't worry about it. You're a young kid. Learn on the fly. That's what football is about. These kids got to go out there and be what they are when it comes down to those highlight tapes and those 4- and 5-star ratings. So I'm excited to see what the rest of the season looks like. Nebraska, it didn't do nothing to me when it comes down to being mad or upset. I think every game is going to be close. You look at that 2002 team. That season, they was about to lose to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They were losing to like both. They were battle tested.
Every game was like
Every game.
That took 2 years off my life, but that's
But every game, and when it comes down to it now, you just want to get a shot to be in the playoffs. You know, you come in there as a wounded Buckeye team that wins a Big Ten championship, that beats their foe, because that's what's going to happen to get them to the playoffs. You go and see Alabama again, who you upset it the first time you played them in the national championship for the first one. Mm-hmm. So you just got to get yourself in the game. You know, it's almost like fantasy football. Like, it don't matter what type of record you have. If you get yourself in that area in the playoff time, you got a chance to take all the money, and that's what I hope the Buckeyes do.
We are joined by former Buckeye and NFL D lineman Doug Worthington here on the program here. What, 6 years in the league, right? You got your pension?
You know what? That's what it is. It was 6 years, but again, we'll definitely go down that road another time. But it was a 6 years of just grind, of battle tested, of grit. And yeah, I got my pension, man. That was the biggest thing to come out of it. And I got some NFL injuries and some monies from it. So cool. It was cool. It was a good time. It was fun.
Good comment from our guy Mike Tackett here.
Okay.
He says, Doug, as one of the very few players who was on the Rams roster transitioning from St. Louis to Los Angeles, what was the transition like? Were the people in L.A. big fans as much as in St. Louis? Do you think St. Louis would be supportive of an XFL team or an AFL team?
That's a lot. I mean,
that is a lot.
Going from St. Louis to L.A., me being just a guy, a work hard guy. I mean, I was excited. It was one of those Hollywood. I remember even getting an opportunity to be on like a show with my girlfriend and my daughter, and just like have the aspect of being like the practice squad guy. With that being said, I mean, it is LA. There's so many stars. There's so much things to do. It was a different type of atmosphere. There was so much fans, and we went to the Staples Center. There was just so much going on. So it's one of those things where I don't know exactly if they would have been as rah-rah as the St. Louis Rams. It's a different type of community. It's a community that kind of, needs their team. I remember when I actually got down there, Ferguson was happening. So, be around a time and place with an organization where so much turmoil around the city, them coming to a game on Sunday kind of let things come in perspective and still have some happiness and joy. So shout out to St. Louis, man. I know everybody that left, still has a good, heart for that city and the fans. But, LA Rams, man, they're rock stars now. They're kind of like, leveling up the whole entire city. Like LA, the Lakers and LeBron has to kind of live up to the hype that they've been given. So it's a great place for those guys to be. A young Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald, two great, massive figures in the sports world that are doing tremendous things early in their career. You're really going to be destined and see like just two dynamic superstars that probably transition to some movies and commercials and be on the football field. It's gonna be like nothing you ever seen. It's gonna be kind of cool. It's gonna be dope to watch. The transition from all that Hollywood screen is awesome.
Mike Williams has a question for you. I've brought this up too a couple times. What do you think about a package for Tate Martell inside the red zone, knowing the struggles we've had scoring once we get there, especially the Purdue game?
It's one of those things with coaching. Like they got to leave some for the unknown. Like again, we're talking about Purdue, we're talking about Nebraska, we're talking about Michigan State. Of course, I can see something like a whole different few packages that been practiced all year for like a Michigan or a playoff round. When Jim Tressel, there was times and periods when we had Ted Ginn at quarterback in the beginning of the season when I came in as a scout team player, and we didn't see that to the bowl game. Yeah. So it's one of those things like guarantee, if you talk to them young men and they give you the honest truth, there are some different packages and some different things that's going on, and they probably don't want Tate Martell being out there right away just to have some different type of cards to play. So trust me, Urban knows what he's doing. I'm more concerned about the man's health than really some X's and O's. I feel like Martell can definitely give us a different type of, just a concern for the other defense to prepare for.
Sure.
But with that being said, how soon is too soon, and when do you play all your cards and just show everybody everything you have? So you got to leave a little bit to be one of those type of contenders at the end of the season.
That's a great point. And they probably, I've never been a football coach,
right?
So I can't put myself in those shoes, but I feel like I understand the idea of we can beat Nebraska without showing any of this stuff.
Sure.
We'll bring it up maybe against Michigan State or the Wolverines or something. But there was a question I wanted to ask in particular.
Yeah.
You mentioned Coach Tressel coming out of Buffalo. What was your recruitment like coming to Ohio State? Who were you recruited by? Did you get to talk to Jim, once a week or every day? One of those things. What did they how did they bring a New York kid into Columbus?
It's great dynamics. It's one of the best times of my life. It's an innocent kid, Buffalo, New York, not really expecting or hoping for too much. To be able to be blessed to play at The Ohio State University, not even knowing the magnitude. I mean, like if a Purdue or if a Penn State or like another team would have recruited just a little bit harder, I might have been swayed to go to another place. I didn't really know ball or Ohio football until I got here. Again, it's a higher power. It's a God. I think I got here for a right reason, for the reason. Mike Daniels, Lord rest his soul. Will Smith, rest his soul. Those guys are in heaven, Ohio State lore, and will always be just remembered. And they were two vital instruments to get me down here, to play at The Ohio State University. I didn't think a kid from New York, upstate New York, had any purpose to be in Ohio. I thought it was cornfields and all types of other different things, so I wasn't really interested in what they had to pitch.
You're not all wrong.
Right. So with that being said, Mike Daniels did a tremendous job, and back then it was a lot more limited. It wasn't as easy access as it is now. So I talked to him and maybe Tressel like every few weeks or every week. I had a bunch of people calling my phone, but I always played sports, so I didn't really have a time to kind of get to people. I think probably at a period of time I actually lost my cell phone. It wasn't that cool to have one. I actually didn't want one back in those days because they were, my mom and dad can kind of get a hold of me too much. But, with that being said, man, it's a new day and age. Mike Daniels, rest his soul, and Will Smith. Reason why a kid from Buffalo, New York, had the opportunity to come down here and play and show my talents, man. And I'm forever in debt for those guys for that.
Great.
That's big, man.
What was your, if you can remember, or say one, the toughest matchup you went against as a Buckeye?
As a Buckeye,
like player or team?
Player.
Okay.
Player. Okay. This would be a double bonus. It'd be like a player and a place to play. I remember, coming into Ohio State. We always had the big guys, the 6'6" guys, Wisconsin 6'6" guys. Just the big, tall, big Frankenstein football
Big
players.
10 offensive line.
Yeah, but then you go. So I remember gearing up for this week, and I'm a sophomore starter. And I look at the the stat line, and I see a guy that's like 6 feet and like 260 pounds at center. I'm licking my chops. I literally didn't watch as much film as I should have. Didn't realize the person I was going against. But it was a guy that's probably still in the league. I know he played in the league last year. I'm not sure. But his name is A.Q. Shipley. A center who had all types of flexibility, versatility, just a true athlete who was whooping my butt for an entire game and really made me think about, if I wanted to play football. And, compounded that on the fact that we're playing at one of the loudest stadiums, Beaver Stadium.
No, he's a Penn State kid. He's on the Cardinals roster this year.
He's still on the Cardinals, man. He is a phenomenal football player. That's why he's still playing in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And he's one of those things where, like, the size, the numbers did not measure to what the guy did on the football field. And, again, in the league still, to this day, being like almost 6'1", if that, he was my hardest competition in the league. I mean, Iowa offensive line as a whole was hard. But I remember that one matchup kind of made me reevaluate myself. And I thank him for that. He whooped my tail, and I kind of had to go back to the drawing board. So,
Okay.
Man, we got some altercations in the comment section here, man.
Oh, yeah, that's what you
This
need.
girl, Christine, man. I don't know. Her name, Christine, Irish girl. So
There we
I
go.
think she's a Notre Dame fan.
All right.
The Buckeyes are so overrated. Myers,
it.
deceitful liar, should be fired. Your defense has gone to pot?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? You play
I
a
guess
cupcake
so.
schedule every year just like Bama. You're a joke.
Yeah, no, that's big, man. It's a one thing they watch. That person watches. That person has hatred in their heart because it's just one of those things. They're very attracted to it. They like Ohio State. They don't know why, so they have to bash so hard. like, again, you know, you can call our schedule whatever you want to, sure. You know, we'll take it. When it comes down to it, we are a great program. We play who we play, and we defeated most teams but one. So, again, you know, Notre Dame is having a pretty good year. And, you know, if they're an Irish fan, more power to them. I beat, you know, Notre Dame. I had a chance to play those guys, and we defeated them. You know, nothing against that program. They're just now getting back somewhere. It's just like a Michigan fan. Like, now they're just think that they're arrived. They're like, one, you still got games to play. You know, the last I checked, you know, we could talk about last year. You was the only team that didn't win a bowl game, and you know, now that you feel like you know, your coach should be winning a Big Ten title, like you're giving somebody something that they did not deserve yet. And you know, again, Irish, you still got a lot more games to play. You got a playoff that I hope you don't get embarrassed in, because you guys don't show out. It's not like you got a powerhouse team. You almost lost to our Northwestern Wildcats, so you know, it is what it is. But thank you for that, and we're going to keep getting motivated and keep getting better for it.
We have a. I like that.
I like that too.
I like this guy right here.
Fired up.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah,
I love my Buckeyes, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
We have
I
a great.
can pass that a little bit. You want to throw on the old pass rushing moves?
Right. We have a great question from one of our great fans, Carrie Lynn. In which
Carrie's
you
the best.
played in the knock 'em out rules.
Right.
She says, "Do you think the rules have changed for the better in football, or is it making the league softer?"
Okay, the league, and you know, NCAA for that matter, has a brand to keep. What's going on with players, what's going on with you know, players now is the fact that they're getting hit in their head repeated times, and there's a lot of data that shows that is really, really detrimental to the rest of their future. So when it comes down to the NCAA or the NFL with the things that's going on with the concussion things and the junior say-out, they have to protect themselves. I feel like they care about the players, but you know, they have to really protect the brand. They have to worry about being sued later on, and the game is totally different. These guys are tremendous athletes. They can do and tackle the way that they need to still make plays. But when it comes down to the real authenticity of football, the gladiator sport of it, the mano-a-mano, you know, it's a quarterback-driven league, and he's protected like no other. I mean, just what's going on with the sacks.
Oh, man.
Like the fact that you got to almost like try to tear your shoulder up to lay off a quarterback, when back in the day, that is what we got paid for.
Yep.
Like you got paid for knocking quarterbacks out. That's what you needed to do. Now you got to just like kind of tackle them and just be very gentle while you lay them on the ground. So it's a different game, you know. Again, more power to those guys. They're going to keep guys safer, but as things keep going, you know, a lot of things is going to have to either be accepted or be changed again. So we'll see.
And two things I'd have to say in response is, there's a defensive lineman for the Miami Dolphins. I can't remember his name, but earlier in the season, he was sacking Derek Carr of the Raiders, and he pulled off and tried to, you know, not land on him all awkwardly, tore his ACL. So, you know, it's what now the NFL's not going to say quarterbacks are more important, but you know, that's what
we
they're
all
thinking.
know. We all know.
Yeah, look who's getting paid. No,
And
they are.
and another part of that aspect is, you know, and like I said, I never played at this level. I can't put myself in those shoes, but I feel like that is a risk you take, and something that you know going into playing the sport, especially at the highest level, in order to take this rare opportunity to provide a fantastic life for your family.
They're not going to complain about it. Quarterbacks, I mean, I did hear one of them. I don't know if it was Aaron Rodgers or whatnot, but they said like it is kind of ridiculous what's going on as far as those rules.
It was Rodgers.
It was Rodgers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we all see it. You know, the thing is, people are still tuning in. You know, the numbers are bigger than ever. The controversy that's building around, you know, football is at an all-time high, and the media hits and the media views are still high. Even though some of the program might be down, there's so much more going on outside of those things that they're getting money on. Endorsements haven't left, and they're making a money on quarterbacks throwing the ball everywhere. Fantasy football is making tons of money, even though it's free to you. It's so much advertisement and things that's popped up. Like, don't you understand? Like, it's all money. So, again, you got to keep those guys safe. Aaron Rodgers knows it. He's the reason why the rule was put in place last year. He tore his collarbone and had a miss like most of the season. And that right there wasn't good for one of the NFL's best teams, one of the teams that's still owned by the city, the Green Bay Packers. So, you know, again, it's all about the mighty dollar. You know, the NFL, you know, they're making a lot of it, so they know how to do to keep their prize, keep their horses out there on the stable. I mean, guys like Tom Brady is going to play for another 5 to 6 years just because he's going to be protected more. Like, no left tackle could have gave him this safety. You know what I mean? When it comes down to being over it, I don't think you understand, like, as a mindset of a player, like, when you got to slow up or be fined $20,000 to hit a man, you're going to subconsciously, you're going to think about that hit. You're gonna lay off just a tad bit. You're gonna go a little bit less hard against that offensive tackle because guess what? You know what can happen if you do get that successful play. It might cost you more these days than it used to. So, I mean, the NFL, different game. It's a somewhat safer game, but it's one of those games where things are going to still happen, and we're going to pay for it one way or another.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's
Of course
tough.
he's right. Of course he is right.
No,
Of course he is right.
Good question from Alex Otto here. He asked if you still keep in touch with Coach Tressel at all.
Yeah, and you know what? Tressel is a guy like no other men. You know, again, he is one of the men that you kind of like can hold on different esteem. Just one of those guys that, I mean, like Donnie Everidge, I just seen him, you know, promoting his water and things of that nature, and he has Jim Tressel drinking some of the water type stuff. Like Jim Tressel, I can call him right now, and he can probably holler into the mic.
All right, get him on the line.
He's one of those type of guys, man. Like Jim, Mr. Tressel, you know, he's one of those guys that forever is going to be in my life. Again, I'm over here trying to write a book, trying to get things together and work on different things, and I mean, I talk to him at least once a month. You know what I mean? I talked to my coach Haycock. I seen him a couple weeks at James Laurinaitis' retirement, the Hall of Fame, not retirement. Again, he's been retired, but I seen Coach Haycock, and again, we talk every few months. Stan Jefferson, we talk every few months. So those guys, that coaching staff is one of the rare ones, and they keep in touch with their players. It could be Doug Worthington. It could be the guy way down here. They do have a great job. They do a great job just staying in touch and just making us feel part of that family. It's good for them too. You know, they keep attached to it. Yeah, good question.
I've always got that vibe from Jim Tressel.
Man,
he
wears a sweater vest.
There you go.
I mean, that's genuine.
He
wears
did
a sweater vest. That's a genuine guy.
He did the commencement speech at my high school a couple years ago. My stepmom teaches there, and he introduced himself to her and the staff before, you know, everything. 2 hours later, he's leaving. He sees her in the parking lot, says, "Nice to meet you, Rachel." Remembers her name. Like, that's just that type of guy. After delivering the speech, taking countless pictures and all that, that's just that's how he is.
A witty man, read books, write books. He stays on top of the X's and O's, and now he's a president that just does so much for the university. He's second to none on that regard, definitely.
Another question about the team. How long does it take for the defense to adjust to lose their best player? Bosa. No. I knew it was Bosa. You know, I pretty much that was for everybody who was watching.
Yeah, that's Bosa. You know, the thing about this team, the only knock against this team, they have far more talent than we did. They have far more 5 stars and 4 stars. They have far more guys that's going to have that successful careers in the NFL. Like they have that. They have what you want. Urban has done a great job getting those guys from the best programs coming together and just becoming better men and better players. But with that being said, I don't know who the alpha dog is. I don't know who is that leader on that team that's going to make Joey Bosa's departure, not hurt as much.
Nick.
You know, Nick. I'm sorry, Joey, Nick. Yeah, you know, they the little Bears, whatever their name.
There you
go. You know, with that being said, you know, again, I wasn't better than Cameron Hayward. I wasn't better than Thaddeus Gibson. I wasn't, you know, Brian B. Roll. I mean, it's John Simon, a bunch of guys, Dexter, Rob Rowe, a bunch of guys that I played with that were physically better than me, had a little bit more IQ as far as the football game, was a little bit more athletic, had a little bit less bumps and bruises. But what I was in there for, I was like, they can count on me. I was that 111th. I made sure I was in my gap. It might not have been pretty. It might have been 2 yards back. It might not have been the pressure that I needed all the time. But they also know I was going to be there. I was going to lead them. I was going to keep them accountable. Like, I mean, there was times where I was telling Cameron Hayward, like, hey, you're better than that. Like, yeah, that was a double team, but you can do better than that. That's the only thing I see that is missing. You know, when it comes down to the slobs, when it comes down to the offensive line, you know, I haven't seen, like, you know, the big guy Prince go in there and just, you know, wreak havoc and say, like, hey, yeah, I'm a right tackle. Maybe all you guys have better, you know, accolades, and y'all might have a better, you know, future career than me. But at the end of the day, this is my time, right? This is my time at Ohio State, and you guys got to step up because you're better than that. You know, MJ, you got to step up. Demetrius Knox, you got to step up. You know, you guys got to play better, And when guys hear that, they respect you different. They hold themselves to a higher regard, a higher esteem, and they want to give their senior, they want to give their leader, the person who had the nerve and audacity to kind of go ahead and get in their face. I remember when Billy Price a few years back, it might have been last year, but he was talking about a loss that they took and how it wasn't acceptable and how he was going to get things together, and they held a player-all meeting. Now again, I'm not in those Ohio State walls. It might be that. But again, when it comes down to that vocal leader on the field or that person that's bringing them together, that's kind of getting and breaking them down, I'm not seeing that type of leadership, and that's the only knock. That's the only thing that we got different. Again, like I said, they're a far superior team athletic than we were. I mean, we got a guy named TP that might have been the best athlete in Ohio State history.
He was all right.
As far as being as tall he is and what he can do on a football field. But other than that, those guys have it. So with that being said, have a leadership. The turmoil with the coaching staff, as I feel like it is. I mean, even Urban coming in this year, the man's health. It's just a lot of things that's weighing on those all those coaching staff, they all got an opportunity to play and be, in their next level, in their next regard. They should be head coaches, and they all have that ability. They're all getting paid handsomely, and they have a lot of pressure on themselves as well. So, I give all my kudos to what they got going on, because it's not easy to have that big Ohio State, bullseye on your chest.
There you go.
And when you have all those accolades, when you have all that presence, and you're not, you only lost one game, but you're already getting written off. Everybody's talking about changes of coaches or changes of this kid or changes of that. Like Ohio State, man, please, you guys are very, very blessed with these programs. We're blessed. We're Buckeye Nation. We're doing very well. There's one Roll Tide down there that looks like a different entity. But other than that, when it comes down to what we've done in these last decade, I think them and Clemson is the only ones that have that type of merit and that type of stance. So, be happy, be a little humble, recognize who we have, take care of our players. And, I think we still have a very great season that we can remember and be happy about.
There's a long way to go, man.
Well said.
And we were saying it last week. We're not playing the Wolverines this week.
No.
We've got time to get better, make the adjustments. We had the bye week and all that. And we've only got a few minutes left here, so I want to talk a little bit about the game this weekend against Michigan State. Of course, it's 12 o'clock, a 12 noon game on the road. It's on Fox. The Buckeyes are only favored by 3.5. I saw 4 as well.
Right.
Michigan State, not an extremely talented team, but they've got 28 kids from Ohio.
That's
you
huge.
think that doesn't mean
That's
something
huge.
to them that they're playing? They got the Buckeyes coming to town.
Everything.
And they're the #1 rush defense in the country as well. It's going to be 35 degrees. It's going to be windy.
Man.
You got to bring your run game and your defense, and that's something we're a little worried about right now.
You said a lot right there. Just the fact that you're playing against, 30 kids from Ohio. That chip on their shoulder, whatever reason why they're not at Ohio State, guarantee they're going to have a little bit more to give when it comes down to that fight. The best thing that could be for us, that could happen for us right now, and the fact is we're playing down there, but it's at noon. So to have a crowd that's hopefully not as rowdy, that's hopefully not really expecting, as much as the things that happened the weeks before, even though they're going to have a pretty packed place, I feel like that kind of helps us a little bit. I do not want to see a night game in that environment with that weather at this time of the season. It's November. So, it's going to be a tough game. I know Cameron Hayward's brother might get a start. I feel like
he's the starting tailback. L.J. Scott has been dinged up a lot
he's
this
been
year.
hurt, right.
So if L.J. Scott's not going to play, or if he's going to be held back a little bit, Cam Hayward's little brother, Connor Hayward, is going to be getting the start, and he's pretty damn good.
No. If they're there, they have an opportunity, they have a shot, and they have so much to fire on. They have so much energy to go ahead and try to disperse when it comes down to playing at their home field against the other state of the Big Ten. So it's going to be a good game, man. Michigan State is always a hard place to play. I know, D'Antoni, he has those guys ready. Bowman, old Ohio State, he was my offensive coordinator. He's still over there pitching plays.
Jim Bowman.
He's going to definitely find a way to kind of give some different wrinkles. We just got our running game turned back on last week, and to play against one of the top rushing, you said the top rushing?
The top #1 rushing defense in the country, 70
hard.
Yards a game.
So again, one of the good things about all of this, man, we haven't bring it up, but like Haskins, somebody that in the beginning of the season we said bye to already, and we kind kind of said he might be the best quarterback in Ohio State history and, actually be that quarterback in the NFL, we might be blessed with another year of him. I think that'll be good for the program. I think it'll be good for him. Maybe not Tate Martell, but with that being said, we're in for a battle on Saturday. It's going to be fun. It's going to be refreshing. I can't wait to see what the Buckeyes do. It's early enough so I can, have me a little, spice of life at the end of the day. So it's going to be cool, man. It's going to be something to do. It's going to be awesome to see.
It's going to be an exciting matchup, that's for sure. Something we do every week on the show here is do our bold predictions. Corey and I give a score prediction, and then something about a player. Last week, I didn't toot my own horn yet, but I'm going to now. But last week, I said Dobbins. My bold predictions with Dobbins would have 100 yards and 2 scores.
There we go.
After 163 and 3 scores, I'm wearing his jersey.
There you go.
I got to. So this week, a little background on Michigan State, and then we'll do our bold predictions, wrap up the show. While the Michigan State defense is outstanding, they've held opponents to 21 points or less in 7 of 9 games. Their offense is really bad. Statistically, the second worst we faced all year, other than Rutgers.
That's big.
So, theoretically, if we can hold them to 10, 14, 17 points, our offense should be able to do that, right? We would think so. So I'll give you my bold prediction, and we can go to Corey, and we'll come back to you since I'm kind of hitting you on the spot here.
No, you go to.
I said Buckeyes come away. It's going to be a tight one. I say 27-21. Ohio State wins. J.K. Dobbins has 85 yards and 2 scores, and we're going to be running it. We're going to be running him. It might take him 25 carries to get 85 yards, but we got to show the run game, and it's going to be important because it's 35 degrees, it's windy, it's cold as hell, and we're not going to go anywhere if we can't run the ball. So we showed up pretty well against Nebraska in the run game. I think we come back, and J.K. Dobbins is excited. I don't know if you saw in the game. He was fired up. He's talking smack across the line. I'm like, there we go. Let's see some fire, man. Let's see some energy.
For sure.
I got J.K. Dobbins with 85 yards, 2 scores. Buckeyes win 27-21.
There you go.
Let us know in the comments yours as well, please. Robert Collins says 17-16 Buckeyes, rain, snow, and cold.
There we go. That's big. Rain. Ooh, I hate playing rain.
I know.
Greatly done. Greatly done.
There you go.
Now, I'm going back to old reliable.
Uh-oh.
And you know where I'm going.
I do.
Dwayne Haskins. Last week, didn't have a great game. Poor decision in the red zone, interception, couple off throws. We said he looked a little lethargic. He's going to come into Michigan State, rainy, windy, got to run the ball. Don't matter. Going bold. That's why it's called bold.
It's called bold.
Predictions. Dwayne Haskins last week didn't have a great game. He is going to have a great game this week. He's going back to Dwayne Haskins. 305 yards.
305.
Passing. In the rain and wind.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns. No picks. Ohio State wins 31-17.
That's nice.
I'll take it.
That is bold. If he gets that 305, he leads the Big Ten in the yardage for the season.
Yep.
Going bold.
I think he only needs 277.
I'm going bold.
So with that being
the
said,
Buckeyes win,
we got J.K. right here. We got Haskins. A kid that is from the area, from Detroit. Weber had, I think you got to understand, like them coaches, they understand the next week. They understand the abilities, and they understand what they're going to do for certain players. And that's kind of a gift or a curse. They roll J.K., but I like to see Weber out here with a bold prediction. I think he gets the nod. Last week he had, 10 carries for 90 yards. So that's 9 per. So it's one of those things, or maybe a 10 per. It was something of that nature with one touchdown.
Yeah, 9 carries, 91 yards.
He get that block in a little bit shored up. I feel like he goes out there and be the premier, the feature back in his home state and really dominate. I do want to also look on the other side of the ball. I feel like we got to have somebody to emerge, and I feel like a Chase Young, it's time to have another one of those games. He was a, quarter of the year All-American, which is all fine and dandy. I feel like you can really solidify yourself as a top 5 draft pick next year with Bosa out. Yep. Going there, a kid from Maryland, number 2, just like I think he has one of those games again that we talk about him and we kind of like even joke about him playing some. I think he has 3 sacks. I think he has 4 tackles for loss, a fumble recovery, and I think it really gets one on the defensive front. I'm going 28-17 Buckeyes, and a still close one.
Yeah.
But something that later on at the end of the game, the defense makes some plays, and we reign victorious.
I love it, man. I love it. We'll get to a few comments here, including Mike Weber's sister, Shawnee Weber, joins the program.
Awesome.
She says Buckeyes 32, Michigan State 14.
I like it.
She says my brother 150 and 3 scores. She's on your wagon there.
Hey, I'll take it.
I think that they know what they're going to do as far as showcasing that talent, man. And he's around his area. His family will probably be there. And guess what? He's going to show out. It's going to be fun.
They probably got a lot of guys from Cass Tech on that team, too.
Yeah, man.
That's where he's
Vern,
from.
my guy, he's a Cass Tech guy.
Is that right? Vernon Golston?
He's like a model now and a real estate agent. Man.
What?
Shout out to Vern. He's doing well.
Oh,
Good for him.
Yeah, man.
Big number 50, is that right?
Yeah, he stole the Jets' money and got some. I'm just playing, Vern. Vern don't care.
I wasn't laughing.
Oh, that is good. That's
we
good
got any
stuff.
more comments to wrap it up? Who they talking? What they saying?
Well, we got a few on, let's see. Jason says the Spartans 31-30. I don't know about that. Come on, Jason.
Hey, man. You know, they got to suit up.
That's the Sparty Nation guy.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
I mean, look how close that was. He should have gave his team more than that. So I don't think he believes it, because if you're a fan like that, you give your team a 4-point spread. So
yeah, Jason.
He really meant to say 27 to 31 Buckeyes. So it is what it is.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. John Goddard in here, Ron Ferris, Robert Collins, Shawnee Weber. We appreciate everybody here. Luis Rivera, 24-0.
There we go.
Right.
Real nice,
Mike
man.
Tackett says 21-10. And Robert Collins says follow up on Buckeye basketball versus Cincy on the next week's show. Ohio State basketball starts the season tomorrow night
Wednesday.
at Cincinnati.
At Cincinnati.
I'm a Bearcat alumni.
Whoa!
It's a tough one. Tough call for me, so I'm not going to make
It ain't tough for me. Beat down them Bearcats.
Down, please. Beat them down.
It ain't hard for me,
will
Buckeye
see.
Nation.
Hold it
We
down.
will see.
It ain't hard for me.
There you go.
Oh, man. Lee Travis in here. Brian Price, 34-21 Buckeyes. JP Pooley, 28-13 Buckeyes. We appreciate everybody jumping in the comments here. We'll be back next week.
Next
of course.
week, you'll be stuck with us, too. Don't cry. Don't
Yeah,
cry.
no, Doug won't be back.
Come back
next
whenever
week.
you want.
We'll have
Whenever
him
you
back.
want.
Yeah, you guys are family.
Whenever you want, come on back.
Definitely. It's fun, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, we appreciate you.
If you missed the show, you can always catch us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Of course, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes. We're all over the place,
If
man.
you catch the show, watch it, redo it.
Replay
it.
Give us a like and a share.
Repost it, man. Yeah.
Repost
We
it, share it.
appreciate you.
Tell them you was talking to Doug Worthington. That's all you have to say.
We can talk all the time.
Fan Chat Nation is where it's at,
There we go.
ladies and gentlemen. The era has begun.
It has begun.
Huge.
For producer producer Steve, Corey Boyd, I'm Jake Smith. That's Doug Worthington.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week, folks. Go
Let's
Bucks.
go.
OH.
I-O.
All that good stuff.
See you next week, folks. Go Bucks.
Yeah.